Good evening. I'm Jay Negrini, President of the Wilson School Board, and I'd like to call to order the March 16, 2015 Wilson School Board meeting. Could I get a roll call, please?
Dr. Shimoleski. Mr. Ehrlich. Mr. Hopp.
Here.
Mrs. Mack.
Here.
Mr. Martin.
Here.
Mr. Metzger.
Here.
Mr. Negrini.
Here.
Mrs. Reed. Mr. Wolf.
Here.
6 present, 3 absent.
Thank you. We have the posting of the colors tonight by the JROTC.
March on, march. Forward, march.
Seated. All right, our announcement on public participation, Mr. Moravich.
There's 2 opportunities for the public to address the board. One is on agenda items, which is immediately before the agenda. The other is on non-agenda items, which is at the end of the meeting. It is a 3-minute opportunity. It is not question and answer, but an opportunity to provide comment to the board on issues that may come before it.
Are there any public participation on agenda items this evening? All right, thank you. This evening we have a presentation from the JROTC, Colonel May.
Okay. This is the 7th time I've come before you annually to talk about our program. The first time was February the 20th of 2008, and we were talking about a new program here at Wilson. At that point, as I mentioned last year, I was kind of all alone, but that's no longer the case. What I want to do is just start out a little bit and tell you kind of where we were and where we've come from. As you see, as the board, as you see in your packets, we started out with about 52 cadets. We actually started with about 30 cadets. We ended up with 52. We've topped out at about 142, which is a really comfortable number for us, that we know every cadet and pretty well at that point. And we're able to support them with the time and energy that it takes. At this time, I'm going to have our battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Jacob Healy, brief you on his portion of this presentation.
Good evening. I'm Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jacob Healy, and I'm the Cadet Battalion Commander, as Colonel May said. This is my 4th year in the program, and it's been an experience of a lifetime being in this program. Tonight, I'm going to talk to you, along with some of the members of my staff here, about a few events that we've put on throughout the year, and we do every single year. So tonight, I'd like to start off with the Veterans Appreciation Dinner Dance. Well, the Veterans Appreciation Dinner Dance is a Berks County-wide event. This was our 5th year supporting it, and our cadets put in a little over 4,000 cadet community service hours into this event. So it's a huge event. We love doing it. We put a lot of effort into this event. And this year we served over 900 guests. And I don't know about you guys, but I think that's incredible. So I want to move on then to the next event, which is our fall hike. Each year we do 2 hikes, one in the fall, one in the spring. Obviously we haven't done the spring one yet, but the fall hike, we had 48 cadets come on this hike. It was an 8-hour or an 8-mile hike, I should say. It takes about half the day to do, and it's one of my favorite events. It kind of encourages the cadets to get out and be active. It's a great bonding event for all of our cadets, and you know, you guys are always more than welcome to join us for an 8-mile hike up the Appalachian Trail. But it was certainly a lot of fun this year. And then I'll talk to you about the drill team. Drill team is one of our 3 major teams here in JROTC. It's my favorite, and I might be a little biased on that one because I'm the leader of this team. But this year, we finished 4th at our league competition, which last year we finished 2nd, so we're a little disappointed by that. But when you're up against 11 other schools, 4th isn't bad. And we also had 3 of the final 4 cadets in the knockout portion of the competition are from Wilson, and the winner, Bailey Place, who's a junior this year, placed 1st overall. And also, this was the first year that our cadet commander, that's myself, won the commander's trophy. It's the #1 commander at the competition, so I'm a little proud of that. That's all I have for you tonight. I'd now like to hand it over to my executive, and color guard, I'm sorry, I forgot about that one. Color guard, we do over 60 events each year. You may see us out at the football games on Friday nights, or Reading Royals games. We're always out in the community supporting color guards. One that I like doing is Academy Night. That's where the Air Force Academy, West Point, things like that. We go out there and we show Wilson pride while we're up against some other schools. So we're spreading Wilson throughout the rest of Berks County. And now I'd like to hand it over to our Executive Officer, Margaret Dzemba.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cadet Major Margaret Dzemba, and I currently hold the position of Executive Officer for the 2014-2015 school year. Basically, I'm in charge of the junior RTC staff and other junior RTC duties. I'm a senior, and this is my 4th year in the program. Tonight I'm here to talk to you guys about some events. The first event was previously held this past weekend. On Saturday, March 14th, it was our 7th annual military ball. This year we had families, friends, faculty, and cadets totaling 186 people. The night consisted of a color guard, honor guard, the grog ceremony, and much more. This night is always a treat for a junior RTC cadet because it's something for them instead of doing something for others. So that's always like a treat for us. Next slide. On the 11th of March, we held Operation Honoring Local Heroes. This was a new one this year. It was held at Green Valley. The students at Green Valley read over 365,000 book pages. Veterans talked to the students about different opportunities in the community available for them. We had many speakers that included people from Operation Enduring Freedom, World War II, the Western Berks Fire Department and EMS crew, Sonny the service dog, and veterans from Vietnam. The students truly learned the real meaning of a local hero. Yeah, Mrs. Stout is here.
Kids were thrilled.
Okay.
I think she was too.
She was happy. The final event I'm talking to you tonight about is the annual Christmas party. This year we had many different guest speakers. They sent many inspirational and powerful messages to our cadets and guests. We then had a breakfast donated by the Veterans Appreciation Committee, followed by tons of promotions for our cadets. I'd now like to introduce our next guest speaker, which is Kaylee Lanfar.
Hi, my name is Cadet Captain Kaylee Lamfer. This is currently my 2nd year in the program, and I'm a sophomore. I'm the Battalion S3, which is the Operations and Training Officer, so I work with all the events. I'm going to talk to you about a couple events that we do today, and starting with our parades.
Which one?
Parades.
I'm sorry. Okay, there we go.
A couple parades that we do each year are the Armed Forces Day Parade, the Memorial Day Parade, and our Halloween Day Parade. We participate in these throughout the city, and we get together as a battalion and we march in two different companies, Company A and Company B, and it really gets our name out there to the people in a positive way. And we have about 90% participation from our cadets in these events. The next event I would like to talk to you about is JLab. This is a Leadership and Academic Bowl. We have approximately 100 schools, including schools in Europe, competing in this. This year we have advanced to round 2, which is the Brigade Academic Bowl. 8 of our cadets participated, in which were all juniors, and this year was the overall highest in our history as a program. Also, I would like to talk to you about Rifle Team. Everyone in the program gets a chance to fire the rifles. We get to do this during our class period. In order to fire them, we do have to pass a safety test, but once we do, we get to go down to the range during our class and we get to fire them. And when you do this, you can get a chance to get your marksmanship badge, and we have about nearly 30% of our cadets who have qualified for marksmanship. You can also go for sharpshooter, and then next, the final one, and the last is expert. But you have to get certain scores to get those. Rifle is an amazing opportunity, and we're very fortunate to have this chance as cadets. Now I'd like to hand over the mic to Cadet Connor Stemler.
Good evening. My name is Cadet First Lieutenant Connor Stemler. I'm a junior, and I'm the Battalion S4 Supply and Logistics Officer. My responsibility is to manage the supplies and the supply room of the battalion and make sure every cadet has what's necessary to succeed in our program. The first event I'm going to talk to you about this evening is an event that I'm personally involved in, which is Raider Team. Raider with training every day after school and concludes with our competition at Shippensburg University, usually in early April. It consists of 5 events. The APFT, which is the Army Physical Fitness Test, which is as many push-ups as one can do in 2 minutes, as many sit-ups as one can do in 2 minutes, and concludes with a 2-mile run in the fastest time possible. The next is the one-rope bridge. This is a team effort where the team must construct a one-rope bridge and cross it successfully over a stream or a creek, as it is up at Shippensburg University, between 2 trees. The next event we compete in is first aid, where the cadets must demonstrate basic knowledge of Army first aid skills and also operate a litter carry across a certain distance over time. All these are scored and then compared against the other teams for your overall score. Included in this is land navigation. Land navigation over a large field area. Cadets are given a pace count or a meter distance along with a compass reading, and they must find these in a certain amount of time and have an accurate pace count to report back. This is also a timed event. The final event is the 3K run. It is a team effort where they must run as one team for a 3K and must stay together the entire time to beat the other schools and receive the best time possible. Last year, our most recent competition, we were happy to receive 3rd place overall in that. The next event I'm speaking to you about is mentoring. Mentoring, Maple Grove actually, I had that mixed up, yeah. Maple Grove is the first major event we put on during the year as a staff, and we get to visit Tony Schumacher and the Army racing team out at Maple Grove Raceway, and we also participate in the Army Strong competition and receive advice and mentoring on how the Army could help us going forward and how just the military in general is a positive outlook after high school. The final event I'm going to speak to you about is mentoring. Mentoring is every Thursday during the week. On our uniform days, we split up into 2 teams of 3 or 4 cadets and go to West and Southern Middle School, where we mentor the younger students on the values of leadership and character and selfless service. And these are the kind of things that we learn every day in the classroom, and the students really get a lot. I personally have seen the students getting a lot of learning these things because they feel like they have they have more knowledge on how to be better students in their school. And they're more prepared if they would happen to come to our program to be ready to become leaders more quickly than some of their other classmates. Now, I would like to turn it back over to Colonel May for the conclusion of the presentation.
Connor. I'm going to go back to the West Lawn. I think we kind of missed this one. This is our 4th year assisting the West Lawn United Methodist Church in a huge undertaking. They feed so many people. It's incredible, the amount of volunteers. So what our cadets do is they partner up generally with an adult down here at the bottom of the hill, and we do that once a month. What they really appreciate us doing is unloading the trucks. So, and we appreciate doing that too. Let's go back here. Okay. Some good news stories is the program was nominated by the Director of Veterans Affairs for the Military Award at this year's American Red Cross Berks County Heroes Breakfast on May 17th. I've met several times with them, and that's going to be a neat event. I think it's who's who in Berks County, so we're glad to accept that. We've also, there's a number of things, but we were selected to present the colors at the Governor's Veterans Symposium. Makes me a little uncomfortable sometimes when I go in somebody else's territory like Harrisburg, but we were asked about 3 years in a row, and I kept putting it off, and finally this year we accepted that, so we were proud to do that. I think it speaks well for Wilson. That's all we have for this evening. Is there any questions of us at all?
Colonel may not have a question, but just a thank you. The job that you do, Sergeant Dolan does, and the whole group does is just fantastic. They're such role models for all of our students, and they just represent the district so well. We appreciate all you do.
Well, thank you.
It's clear that looking at enrollment increasing year after year speaks to your leadership. We're very fortunate here at Wilson to have this program, and fortunate to have you two gentlemen working with our young men and women. So thank you for that. Do we have any marksmen amongst our group? We do? Any experts? Wow.
There we go.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for that presentation. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the March 2nd, 2015 meeting? Mr. Martin, is there a second? Mr. Metzger, any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Agenda item number 1, Mr. Martin.
Mr. President, I submit for approval the Treasury Report, the Investment Report, General Fund, and Financial Reports as presented.
Is there a second to those items? Mrs. Mack, any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Payment of bills, Mr. Martin.
Yes, Mr. President, I submit payment of bills in the amount of the General Fund of $2,346,017.99 and Capital Reserve $168,238.36.
Is there a second to pay those bills? Mr. Wolf, any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 And financial reports, Mr. Martin.
Yes, Mr. President, I submit for approval the cafeteria dated February 15th, child care February 15th, activity accounts Wilson West, middle school February 15th, Southern Middle School February 15th, high school February 15th.
Is there a second to approve those financial reports? Mr. Metzger, any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Are there any communications this evening? Agenda item 4.1, request permission to approve the revised 2014-15 field trips and participations as attached. Is there a motion to approve 4.1? Mr. Martin, is there a second? Mrs. Mack, any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Superintendent's report, Dr. Ruth.
Thank you, President Green. Very typical report this evening with the typical headers that you see, welcoming on some professional staff hires that will be handling long-term positions for us, and also some of our extracurricular staff, both volunteers and paid assistants.
Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's report? Mr. Wolf, is there a second? Mr. Metzger, any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Under consent item 6.1, accept with gratitude the following donations: a Disney stuffed animal for every student in grades kindergarten through 5th grade, as well as a Disney book for every student K through 3 at Spring Ridge Elementary from Cole's CARES program. Is there a motion to approve 6.1? Mrs. Mack, seconded by Mr. Martin. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Under Human Resources, 7.1, request approval of the updated Assistant Superintendent job description as attached. Is there a motion to approve 7.1? Mr. Hopp. Is there a second? Mr. Metzger.
I had a question related to this item. If, may I ask it prior to us voting, or are we locked into a vote at this point?
We're free to discuss.
Prior to this meeting, I couldn't find the materials regarding the details on the update to the job description. Is that available prior to us voting?
Can we get that printed out?
I didn't find it in the share, and it was just before the meeting. I apologize for not asking previously, but we didn't have a pre-board. Are there specifics that we can bring up prior to a vote?
I can tell you that it's generally the same job description that we have. The one thing we switched to now was child care will fall under the assistant superintendent because they deal with curriculum and development and thought that was a better fit for that position.
Okay.
And then we had made a change earlier where the director of curriculum and the director of technology, which are both cabinet level positions, we done the superintendent's responsibility so that the entire cabinet fell under. But really, they were the only two things.
Okay.
Other than that, the job description is very much in line with what Dr. Gahar had while he was here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I will check into that and try and send it out. I thought I did attach it, so.
Thank you.
And I believe Mr. Metzger did second that agenda item, correct? Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes. Under Pupil Services, 8.1, request permission to ratify contract with Hogan Learning Academy, LLC, to provide educational services to one special education student at a rate of $365 per day, including all related services, beginning February 20th, 2015 and ending June 3rd, 2015. And 8.2, request permission to approve the adoption of an agreement and release to pay directly to Easter Seals of Eastern Pennsylvania the amount of $1,680 for its 6-week summer 2015 program to settle and comprise all claims raised by the parents of a special education student relative to the 2015 ESY program, and to authorize the board president and secretary to execute the agreement on behalf of the district. Is there a motion to approve 8.1 and 8.2? Mrs. Mack, is there a second? Mr. Wolf, any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Under Technology and Media, 9.1, requests approval to enter into a month-to-month contract with Sunisys to provide dark and lit fiber between all school buildings at a cost of $1,220 per month. This expense will be E-rate eligible at approximately 50%. Is there a motion to approve 9.1? Mr. Metzger, is there a second? Mr. Wolf, any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Under Operations, 10.1, requests approval to use Miller Flooring Company Incorporated, 827 Lincoln Avenue, Unit 15, Westchester, Pennsylvania, to make necessary repairs to the high school gym floor due to water damage as part of an insurance claim in the amount of $63,940.31 under KPN, contact number KPA-A-201-202-01B. Is there a motion to approve 10.1? Mr. Martin, is there a second? Mrs. Mack, any questions or comments? I believe that there is an insurance payment in excess of $50,000 for this, so our deductible is only a small portion of that project. Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes.
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 Under Finance, 11.1, request permission for the creation of the SHADE, Students Honoring Academic Determination and Ethnicities Club in the Senior High School Student Activities Fund. 11.2, request approval of the Berks Career and Technology Center General Fund operating budget for July 1st, 2015 to June 30th, 2016. And 11.3, request approval for Herbine and Company to perform the local audit of the district's June 30th, 2015 to June 30th, 2016 and June 30th, 2017 financial statements at a cost of $24,750. And 11.4, request approval of the budget transfers dated February 12th through March 11th, 2015. Is there a motion to approve those 4 items under Finance? Mr. Martin, is there a second? Mr. Metzger, any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 All right, there are no items under curriculum or transportation or food and cafeteria and childcare, nothing under extracurricular. This is the second reading under policies of policy number 200, enrollment of students, and the first reading of policy number 137, home education. No need for a vote this evening. There are no items under miscellaneous. So on to committee reports. BCDC, Mr. Metzger.
We have not had a meeting of the Joint Operating Committee of the BCTC since our last school board meeting here, so very brief report. Our next meeting is scheduled for next Wednesday at 7 o'clock at the BCTC East Campus. That is all.
Thank you. Mrs. Reed is not here for BCIU. Berks EIT, Mrs. Richards. Mrs. Reed and Dr. Chmielewski is not here for curriculum. Extracurricular, Mr. Wolf.
Just a brief update. We wrapped up the last of our winter sports this weekend with our swim teams competing in the state competition. We had 5 male swimmers and 2 divers participating, and 4 female swimmers and 1 diver participating. I believe out of that we had our 2 male divers both place, one with a silver medal and the second with an eighth place finish. So congratulations to both of those programs. On the non-athletic side, we did host How to Succeed in Business. Our musical ran Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this past weekend with a nice turnout and a great performance. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Facilities, I have no report this evening. Under Finance, there's no report this evening. HR, Mr. Hopp.
No report.
Legislative, Mr. Martin.
Just a couple things. The budget has been talked about. The key thing is that he wants to raise the funding from 33% state funding to 50% state funding through various taxes there, and also hopefully reducing property taxes, and we'll see what happens there. But that's the objective. The thing that bothers me the most is nobody's really addressing the grill, and that's once again the pension situation. And then it's interesting because the Auditor General spoke to the Senate and the House, and she's pretty glum about this. Basically said without a statewide fix, it's not possible, but will happen that several cities will fall into bankruptcy. And this is a small part. This is the municipality pension plan. They didn't even address the other situation. So, and this is better funded than the school. So if these things are starting to come through, the House has a no agenda item. I'm not sure if pension reform will ever get through, but when the Attorney General, I'm sorry, I can't remember my writing here. It was the Auditor General, sorry. If they can't convince the governor to do something, I'm not sure if anybody in the state can convince them to do anything. Unfortunately, I think something has to go bankrupt before they really address the issue. And Scranton will be the first, in case anybody has any relatives in Scranton. That's going to be the first town to file, shortly followed by Pittsburgh.
Depressing news.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, hopefully some cheerier news. PR, Ms. Kramer?
Reminder, we have the National Honor Society Distinguished Alumni induction this Thursday, March 19th. And the doors open at 6:30. There'll be light refreshments. The ceremony starts at 7, and then following the ceremony, there'll be served coffee. Hopefully the 10 to 10.
Thank you. Dr. Chmielewski is not here for technology. Mr. Metzger, anything? Student outreach, Ms. O'Shea.
To add to Mr. Wolf's report, this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the Wilson High School Theater Company put on an incredible production of How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Teachers and students alike are saying it was the best musical the school has put on in a very long time. Mainly thanks to the senior leads this year, Ian Roth, Sydney Schultz, Lucy Wolf, and Shay Bogomil, all of whom did a wonderful job on stage. In other news, we heard JROTC hosted their annual military ball this past Saturday. Again, another very successful event for them. They always have a lot of fun with that. And this is new this year, but in addition to the usual buzz you hear from students about prom, the freshman class officers decided they wanted to throw a Sadie Hawkins-style morp this year. Girls ask the boys, morp is prom backwards, and they planned it maybe Friday. They started planning, and the entire school knows about it, and everybody is really excited. So that is news, and that is exciting. Finally, student government is looking into next year's homecoming dance and some other exciting events for the end of the year. And as Ms. Kramer said, the NHS induction ceremony is this Thursday, and we, I believe, are inducting around 70 new members. That's all I have.
Thank you. And just again, to piggyback on your comments regarding the school play, you know, I had the pleasure of being there Saturday night. I think, it's my understanding, it was close, if not completely sold out on Saturday evening. And it's more than just the students that are actually up there performing. There are so many students behind the scenes, you know, getting those stage scenes set up. It's an incredible effort by a number of students. You know, the orchestra that was playing there was fantastic. Certainly, you know, the Repperts, you know, deserve a lot of credit for the time that they put in that. And to see some of the younger students, some middle school kids, elementary students there, both my daughters were there. It's, you know, when you can impress young children and, you know, some of our, you know, senior citizens that were there in attendance, this was, you know, a first-class performance. So, you know, if you haven't been to a high school musical in the past, I encourage everybody to get out there next year to see it. Education Foundation, Ms. Kramer?
We have the Wilson Honor competition at Washington this Sunday, March 22nd, from 1 to 5. We have over 33 vendors confirmed, and then additional 10 in the choice competition, the time cooking competition. We have a lot of high school students volunteering, so it promises to be great event. We actually have almost 500 tickets sold, so we're at that point where we may have to close ticket sales. So if you need that, let me know. So that's what I'm up here for.
And I'll tell you, Kristen puts a tremendous amount of effort in this volunteer team in this area.
Mr. Moravich, any report this evening?
No report.
Is there any other business from the board this evening? Mr.
I
Martin?
just want to give a tidbit here. It has nothing to do with this, but my whole life I never knew there was another dwarf planet in our solar system. The Dawn spaceship arrived at Sirius in the asteroid belt. It's a big planet. I never knew that. I don't know if any science majors here know that. I never knew that. I just find it fascinating. Oh, that's it.
Any other business from the board this evening? Is there any public participation on non-agenda items this evening? Okay. Hearing that, is there a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting? Mrs. Mack, is there a second? Mr. Martin, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much and good night.